Hey gang, Paul with Stud Pack. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're gonna be transforming this staircase. We just finished making the downstairs of this house open and bright. But we got a big problem. The stairway is like a dungeon, and we feel like most homes in America have stairways just like this. So in this video, we're gonna open up this wall and turn that stairway into a modern, bright showpiece. Let's get started. So the first step, I'm gonna remove this drywall because I know this is a load-bearing wall. We gotta see what we're up against. That took like 4 minutes, guys. Now all I'm gonna do, I got a long drill bit. I'm gonna drill through each corner, transfer this cutout to the other side, remove that drywall. All right, Summer's gonna give it a kick. We should be able to get that out of there in 2 pieces. Whoa, 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 whoa.
What is her problem?
She's been watching too much TV.
What the heck was that?
All right, I got it. The wall is all opened up, looking great. We love how open it makes the hallway and the stairway, and the stairway's already a lot brighter. So we got a few things going on. We know from the kitchen remodel that there's a beam right here. Goes all the way to that corner over there on your left. So these two 2x4s are a post in the middle of that beam. This is structural, as well as these studs right here. It's holding up the joist here on this floor, and it's holding up this massive stairway wall above us and probably some of the roof load. What's not structural is this guy right here. They just put that in to put the skirt board all the way down to make it easier for the trim carpenters and the carpet guy. So we're actually gonna remove this. We know it's not holding up anything, because we drilled a hole in the ceiling and confirmed that there was nothing above it. So we're gonna rip it out, and that's gonna provide something really cool for us. It's gonna allow us to do a really cool mitered return, something on this first tread, make it look really nice. If this is all structural and it's gotta go away, that means we need a beam up here. So we have 2 options. We could easily put a beam right here and kind of block the view a little bit, make it a little darker in the stairway, or we could put the beam up here. That's a lot harder, but what it does, this ceiling would now come across and turn up just like this one does right here. That's the more difficult route, so that's the one we're gonna do. But I need to know what I'm up against. So we're actually gonna cut out this drywall right here. And what I expect to see is the ends of all these joists. Remember, they didn't put rim bands, band joists, anything like that in this house. So hopefully when I cut this drywall out, I'm gonna see the ends of those. I'll probably be able to look all the way to the far side of the house. So let's cut this out, then I can make my list of lumber that I need to frame this wall. Oh, maybe there is a rim joist.
All right, Summer, come take it down.
Oh man.
No way.
They actually put a rim joist here. Oh, look at this big homemade angle. All right, regroup. Guys, we removed the drywall and we found out that this is the best thing we've ever seen. This is one of those days where you open up a wall and the original framing contractor did it exactly like you would have done it. We just saved ourselves a couple $100 and a ton of labor. Let me show you why. So I saw they put a 2x12 here. Well, that's what we were gonna do. And then I come to the other side and they actually put a 2x12 beam here. Well, that's what we were gonna do. And they put it on an old Simpson hanger. Well, that's what we were gonna do. And then these 2x12 joists going that way, they put them on hangers also. Well, that's what we were gonna do. So that is all done. Awesome. Well, let's talk about this wall right here. This wall was actually built after the second floor was framed. How do I know that? Check out all the toenails. So this wall wasn't built on the ground, nailed from the top and stood up. It was built in place after the second floor was framed, and they shot them in like this. So why they do that? Probably because it was a track home, right? They built the second floor, and then the stair guys came in, built the stairs. They ran long past this post, so they had to put this in. That's gonna make it easier for the trim guy, right? The skirt board comes all the way down, and it makes it easier for the carpet guy. Doesn't have to make any returns or anything on his carpet. And that's kind of how tract homes are, right? Got to build them fast, you got to build them cheap, make all the trades work really fast and efficiently. So our material list just got a lot shorter. All I need is a 4x4 by 10 foot post and some drywall. I don't even need to write it down. Maybe I should write it down. A quick break in the project to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Mando. Mando is a high performance deodorant that you can apply anywhere. Check this out, guys. Mando was created by a doctor who saw how common BO was misdiagnosed and mistreated. So Mando products are designed to eliminate body odor. They did a bunch of tests and they found with regular soap, men's body odor returns to a level of 5 out of 10 after 12 hours, but with Mando, they got a score of 0 out of 10. And all the Mando products come in 4 awesome scents: bourbon leather, clover woods, Mount Fuji, Pro Sport, and they even have unscented. And they have a bunch of awesome products. They have a body wash for the shower. Then when you're all done, you have a spray deodorant like we've all grown up with, right? You even have a roll-on type, really smooth and transparent. And then this awesome cream right here. Little pea-sized drop right there. Rub it in, feels and smells awesome. And so Mando's totally safe for your clothes too. There are no dyes, it's vegan friendly, it's skin safe, and they even got wipes for you. Mando has put together an awesome starter kit for the stud pack community. You're gonna get the spray, the cream, and the stick, plus 2 free items like the wash or the wipes, plus free shipping in the continental US. Plus, if you use the code STUDPACK at checkout using the link below, you're gonna get an additional $5 off for a combined savings of over 40%, an awesome deal. Thanks so much to Mando for sponsoring our video. We really appreciate it. Let's head back to work. We are back from the store. We tried to get a 10-foot 4x4 untreated. All they had was treated. That's gonna twist on us. So we just got 10-foot 2x4s and made our own. We did put a 1/2-inch spacer so it's nice and square. That's gonna make it easier on us when we trim it out with wood, no drywall around our new post, like that one. So the plan is we're gonna leave these 2 studs in place. They're load bearing. This one is not, but we're gonna leave it anyway. We're gonna make 2 cuts in our top plates on either side of this guy, rip that out. New post is right here. Slam it in, attach it, and then do the rest of the demo. Oh, it's going. Well, that was uneventful.
Sometimes that's what you want.
It's exactly what you want. So I'm wondering, and I know all the viewers are wondering, do we even need a post here? I don't know. That's a question for an engineer.
Well, I say yes because you need something to attach your handrail to.
We do, we do.
So.
All right, but man, love it, love it. The hammer, bud. Who cut that post? Sweet. Easiest post replacement I think we've ever done in the history of Stud Pack. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Let's finish it off.
Sweet.
Our new post is in. Let's start tearing down the rest of this wall. I'm gonna start with this guy right here. He's heavy. One more, and the stairway dream reality is almost here. Nice, guys. It looks awesome. Just like we planned. All right, guys, one last bit of framing. We're gonna put a 2x4 in here so we have somewhere to attach our trim. I cut a little block. I'm just sitting it in here, lining it up, reaching under, making a line, and that's where I cut with my buzzsaw. I'm gonna eyeball the angle. All right, guys, got our angles cut. Then it's the same angle on this piece. Let's drop it in. Beautiful. Base cap is in. Now off camera, we drywalled everything. We're not gonna bore you with that. You've seen us drywall way too much. But let's talk about the treads right here, these rough stairways. If you have carpet on your stairs, just know that underlying that carpet is rough framing that is crazy out of level, warped and bowed. This first step, for example, has a huge hump in the middle and the level rocks on it. Then we got a couple that are flat, but they're 1/4 inch out of level and 3 feet. And then others are either cupped this direction or the other way. Not a good substrate for our floorette nosing and our flooring or wood floor if that's what you're using. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna identify the treads that are out of spec and replace them. Let's start busting these up. And everybody knows in these older homes, they just attach the treads with good old construction adhesive and some nails. And this is what you get. How'd you like to listen to that all day? So we're gonna fix that too. All right, gang, we started ripping out the treads and it got to the point where we only had 2 or 3 that were acceptable, so we just changed them all. And that does a couple of things for us. Number one, it really ensures that they're all nice and flat and level, but it does something else that's even more important than that. Remember, they were all sticking out from the sub riser an inch right here. Well, that caused us a big problem because here is our tread. We have a tread nosing from Floret. We got it attached to a piece of our flooring, and then that's what the tread is going to look like. But as you can see right here, the nosing doesn't cover our framing. So that means the riser has to attach right there. Well, now I got a big void. Now I got to pad that out. That's a lot of work. I don't want to do that. But now with our new treads, I can flush them out like that. Now we don't need to pad that out. Now the riser can simply attach here, and it's going to look great. Then we simply go up, build our next one just like that. And even though I pushed this back an inch, it doesn't change the depth of our tread. This is actually what it's going to be. We're at almost 10 3/4. That's going to be perfect. So we are going to use plywood for our risers. We got 2 sheets. Summer's going to give them 2 coats of our trim color. That's going to save us a lot of cutting in later. So while she's doing that, Rad and I are going to work on this cap and this waterfall edge right here. So we determined with all our mock-ups that the cap and this waterfall edge need to be 6 3/4 inches wide. That's going to give us a nice wide landing zone for this mitered corner to die into right here. It's going to allow for our tread to go in right here, a place for our baseboard to die in on the back, and a spot for the column cover to land on. So let's head out to the table saw, start ripping our molding 6 3/4 inches wide. All right, guys, we got the top of our wall capped out. 1 by 8, we trimmed it down to 6 3/4. We notched it around the top. The little ears look a lot better at the top. And then we cut a hole in the board and we threaded it over the post. Not really, we didn't do that. Check this out. This is actually a notch. We were gonna miter it right there and had this little piece on the end, but that was way too much work. Check this out. That little piece is gonna fit right in there. 38-degree bevel on your right, 26-degree bevel on your left, 3 5/8 fat long. And it just squeaks right in there. We'll glue it, pin it with some 2-inch pins on the side. Remember, this is all paint grade. Here's our piece to go on the end of the wall. Another 26-degree bevel on the top, notched it around the bottom. Just gonna kind of waterfall over the edge, just like that. It's gonna be beautiful. And then our column cover will sit right on top of this. So our next step, we're gonna tackle this tread. We want this tread to extend over, and we want the nosing to miter and turn 90 degrees right into this piece. First thing we got to do, cut this sill plate right there. There it is. We got that all cut out. Now I cut a piece of plywood. It's going to be our base upon which we build our risers. So I want it to flush with our sill plate here. This will all make sense in just a minute. And then I want it to flush out with our existing stringers. Let's finish putting some screws in that, and we'll box in this end. Then the idea is our finished riser, this is an example of it, it's going to cover this gap just like that, just barely covers right there, and it even works on this side. Let's finish screwing this off, finish building our box. All right, guys, we got this all boxed out, so this tread now extends towards the left. We're going to have a sick return looking detail right here. It's going to look epic. So our next step is to glue and screw down all of our sub treads so they don't squeak. Like I showed you, they were squeaking before. All right, they're about halfway done with the sub treads, and while they've been doing that, I've been playing with this. This is my skirt board extension. And this is kind of a thing that trim carpenters do that nobody ever gets to see. This was kind of challenging down here. So this is a skirt board, and I had to extend it down. So this is gonna fit in there like that. But this wall's not plumb to this, nothing's square, nothing's where it should be. So I got a straight shim here.
Wow.
A tapered shim there, and that's just a filler in the back. So when I put a nail there, it doesn't go in. I even rounded over these edges so it matches that one.
Wow.
So we'll Bondo that, and hopefully that'll just go away, and then our baseboard will die into that. It's gonna look perfect. Treads are all in, glued, screwed, level. That's gonna help us out as we trim them out, and they feel great. Got my skirt extended here, and on the left, got the Bondo drying. That's going to look incredible when it's all done. Now, on our risers, we actually bought 3/4 inch plywood. I know what you're saying. Stud pack 3/4 way too thick. 1/8, quarter, half is plenty. It's all you need. But here was our challenge. We had to cover this gap right here. I don't want to change this board. I can, but I don't want to. So if we use 3/4, it perfectly covers that in both directions. So if I got to buy a piece of 3/4 for that, I might as well just do the whole thing in 3/4. I got a great price on some 3/4 inch birch. It's got 2 coats of paint on it. Let's bring it outside. We're going to cut it into 7-inch strips. Then we'll cut those in half. That gives me manageable pieces for all the risers. Let's head to the saw. Got all our strips cut for our risers, and we're finally ready to transform these stairs. And nothing is square parallel here, so what we bought is a stair gauge tool. You've probably seen these online if you've ever looked at any stair building videos. We'll put a link for this below. This was like 90 bucks. It's gonna save us a ton of time. Now, most people use it right here on the treads. You just loosen these dials, fit it in there, lock it into place, bring it out to your tread, and now you scribe it to these angles, right? That'll move depending on whatever angle it is. Transfer that to your tread and cut it. But we're actually going to use it for our risers as well. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that, and here's why. This is a square piece of wood right here. Look at that. If I cut the riser square, I'm going to have a big gap. So I'm going to have to use this gauge on every riser and every tread. I am ready to go start building these stairs and transforming them. Let's take a measurement right here. Start cutting risers and treads. Got our next riser to put in. I am putting a 5-degree bevel on the bottom and a 5-degree bevel on the left and right hand side. This bevel makes it easier to fit in, and the bevel on the bottom makes sure you have a nice tight fit against the tread. So let's come on up here. Boom. Really happy with the way that fits. Now we are caulking the sides here. These skirt boards are kind of wacky, so kind of a loose fit, and it works great. And we are having a little gap like right here and at the corners. But that's due to our stringers, which are imperfect, and our treads, which are a lot better. We thought about replacing the treads with like Advantech, but the stringers are not straight. So where do you stop? Do we rebuild the whole set of stairs, or do we just pull out the Sashco Big Stretch and fill that in? It's exactly what we're going to do. It's a remodel. That's what we're up against. It's going to look great. I'm going to measure for this next tread. The boys are going to install this riser. Keep working our way up. All right, guys, it's a few days later. You're going to notice that my voice is like gone. That's because 3 days ago, 3 days ago, I had nose surgery, and 4 days ago, Jordan had nose surgery. We both couldn't breathe. Jordan had the same surgeon as I did. So let the surgeon practice on Jordan first, and I followed up the next day, but we're much better. Thanks for all your concern. I apologize for my voice. So back to the stairs. These look great. We got the top step to finish and the bottom one. But before we can finish the bottom step, we got to get this cap and this piece installed. But before we do those, we got to get this column wrapped. We got the saw outside all set up. Let's head out there, start wrapping this column. All right, guys, got our column made. We used 1/2-inch baseboard material. It's finger jointed pine, primed, worked great. We set our saw blade to a little past 45. In other words, if you were to make these exactly 45, you'd be fighting these angles the whole time. We just got it temporarily dry fit, no glue. Once we glue it, we'll get a screwdriver, we'll burnish this edge, and we'll always be able to fill and paint any cracks, but I'm not expecting a lot. So our goal for getting it right here is so we can make a square cut on one end, which is going to go up at the ceiling, and an angled cut at the bottom, which is going to go right here at our second stair. So let's bring this outside, make a square cut, come back inside, and measure and cut that angle. Let's go.
That's nice.
Let's give her a test fit. All right, post is in, looks great. Little gap at the top because that's because the ceiling is so far out, but we'll fix that with some big stretch. Got my Sashco beanie on, thank you very much. Our next step is to start assembling the railing, pre-assembling the railing, right? So we got our laser set up, it's flashing intentionally, that tells us it's not level. So we get 35 inches right here to the laser above the nosing, just clears our light switch. So we've got that beam on that top wall level. So that tells us that this level right here, this laser, is in the same plane as that one. And we proved it. We put a level across here, matching up that line with this one. So this line is the top of my handrail on this wall. We'll put a mark. Now let's put a mark down here on our column, and we're going to measure and cut our handrail. It's going to be the same angle as we had already established for our post. Got our railing all cut. This one was pretty easy. We thought about measuring the angles and transferring them, but in the end, we just held it up here and scribed the wall to the railing and scribed the post to the railing and made our cuts. And it's perfect. Came out awesome. Check it out. Lays right in there just like we like it. Now it's time to lay out and measure and drill for our balusters. Our balusters are 1/2-inch square steel, but we're not going to worry about all that math. We're going to let a website do it for us, blocklayer.com. We've showed it to you before. We just need 3 pieces of information: the distance from here to here, the angle, and how big are our balusters. Put all that in, punch calculate, and it's going to tell us exactly where they all go. We only need 7. Let's mark and drill our rail and this plate. We punched all our numbers into blocklayer.com, and it spit out the spacing for us on our balusters, just over 5.5 inches. So we switched locations on you. We're back at the Stud Pack Dream garage. We're not in the garage, we're in the old house where my tool room is. This is about to go away, so one last project for the drill press. We set our angle on the table at the angle that we pulled from the job site, and we have a fence clamped to the back. We have our work clamped to the table. We have a 1/2-inch square mortising set up in our drill press. We got our speed set to 1800, depth set for 2 3/4. Let's drill some square holes. Boom. Target depth reached, the drill press automatically stops. I love that feature on this drill press. Let's finish drilling our holes. All right guys, we are back on site. We got 2 coats of paint put on the piece of wood that goes right here on the base of our stairs, and we even got our stain and coats of poly on the handrails. So the mortises came out great, but what happens if you don't have a drill press and you don't have a square mortiser? You could do those by hand, but after one of them, I promise you, you're going to be done. So here's another way you could do it, as long as you had a square baluster. So here's your baluster, so you could actually frame it out like that. Boom, just like that. Here's your baluster, and then here's your little spacers at the bottom to space them apart. And then once you paint all that or even stain it, it would look great. Again, as long as you had a square or rectangle. Wouldn't work so well on a round. And in fact, the handrails we bought, they're right here, they came with this strip of oak, and it was tacked right here underneath the bottom of the stairway. And that's exactly what these are for. This is an 1 1/4 inch dado. So what you would do, this would go upside down. You'd put your balusters in there, and you would space them with pieces of this. So we chose not to use this. So it's finally time to start assembling our stairs. All right, we got 1 nail on the right. I already put the level on it, and it needs just a little bit of shim on the left to get it perfectly flat. I need my glasses.
That looks great.
Great, there we go. Got this piece all nailed and leveled. Now we put a baluster in there just to give you a sneak preview of what it's going to look like. So we'll have 4 of these straight ones, and then the in-betweeners, they have a little design to them, but you have to watch the rest of the video to see what Summer picked out. That's going to be awesome. Let's move down here to the bottom. Remember the waterfall edge we made? Now that this piece is installed, it's time to install that. So we're going to glue our miters here and pin it with our Grex nailer. All right, so let's put this piece in. You remember this guy? It's got 2 different angles and this specific width. It actually got thrown in the trash twice. We had to dig it out and put it in a safe space. So here it is. Let's glue it in and nail it before it gets thrown away again.
too much. All right, little caulk, little sand, that will be awesome. Now let's get our waterfall edge. We'll put the level on it, make sure it's plumb this way, and fasten this to our stairs. All right, there you see I got to adjust it a little bit. Just pull the bottom to me, right there. Let's pin it. All right, moving right along, time to wrap the column. Got it all glued up. Brad and I are going to fold it and put it in. All right, coming up?
Yep.
Nice, guys. All right, can you hold that?
Yep.
Column's all glued up, came out great. Final step that we did, we got a round screwdriver. Well, the shank is round, and we kind of burnished the edge like that. Just makes everything disappear. Love the way that came out. So we're gonna let this dry for probably overnight, but while it dries, it sets up, we're gonna put our riser and our tread on the bottom step. Gonna look cool because we're gonna have a miter in our nosing. Let's head outside and cut our risers. All right, guys, putting our miter on our floret nosing they sent us. The initial fit came out great. As you can see, we got the nosing here, and then this piece of plank for our tread. We had to notch it all around here, get it under the existing tread. That was pretty exciting, but man, I'm fired up right now because this has been a long road to get to this final piece, right? What we started with this stairway was pretty crazy, and this is really the final detail. Little clear Gorilla Glue on there, and here we go. All right, that step came out great. Love the way the miter looks, and off camera we went ahead and caulked everything, bondoed the nail hole, sanded, painted. It looks fantastic. Really, really happy with the way this column looks. And look at this, the tread dies in to our little waterfall edge right there, perfect. And then just so you know right here, our baseboard is gonna die into the back, nice and clean, just the way we planned it. A lot that we had to figure out just for this corner right here. The very last step, really excited about this, is finally our balusters and our handrail. So I don't want to mess up. We don't have any extra. So I made a full-scale drawing of this section right here so I can get my balusters the perfect length. Let's go outside. I'll show you what I did. All right, guys, here's my full-scale template. This represents the column. Here's our 1x with the angled mortises we put in it. So our balusters will go here. Boom, boom, boom. This represents our top handrail right there. So now I can measure. So this line represents the bottom of the baluster. It's going to sit in our mortise. It's going to bottom out on the 2x4 that's under the 1x6 right there. And then for the top, measure to the bottom of the handrail, I added 1/2 inch just to get us inside our little mortise we made. How many times am I going to say mortise? So our final length is 31 1/8. I've got a baluster already marked right here. Let's cut it off. Nothing to it. All right, going to file off that sharp edge. Now we just need 4 of these because the other 3 are going to be this one. We hadn't showed you that before. Look how cool that's going to look. They're just going to alternate. We're going to start with one of these and then just hopscotch our way all the way down to the column. Now on the baluster with this oval in it, obviously we want that centered between our 1x6 and our handrail. So we've got to make 2 cuts. I simply just took the 34 1/8 straight baluster, centered it on there, made a mark on each end, so it's going to be 2 cuts. So I need 3 more of these and 3 more of these. Look how awesome that looks. Summer is going to be super excited when she gets home. So now we just have to secure this to our wall, to our column. How are we going to do that? A little combination of PL3, some pin nails, and some trim head screws. Very first step, we'll put a little PL3 adhesive on the end here. I got some blue tape on there so I don't get it all over the wall, which I probably will anyway. All right, Rad, get a little putty knife and spread that out. All right, guys, Nice. Now I'm going to get on top and pin nail it in the center. All right, we got 3 pin nails in the top, and we're going to let that dry. But later on, we're going to come in here with a screw and fasten that to the 2x4 behind here. I don't want to put the screw in now because it's going to lift it off of our mark. But we can put the 2 screws in the bottom. You got it, Rad?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure? It looks great.
He measured it like 4 times.
I'm
Into
kidding.
the 16th, we're good.
All right.
It's really nice.
Nice.
Beautiful.
You get the honors, sir, the last one.
Oh, you're too kind. Awesome.
Did you hear that?
It clicked into place.
All right, guys, got that side all done. Now, are we finished with the stairs? Not quite. Code says we got to have a handrail all the way up, so it's going to be on this side. We'll have a return to the wall at the bottom and the top. We're using our Klein laser. We have it in the out of level position. That's why it's flashing. We have it dialed in to the top of this handrail, so it's projecting its line on the other wall. We just have to follow that laser with the top of the handrail on that side. We got it over here all staged. Let's put it up. All right, guys, handrail is all done and it looks great. Now, handrails can be tricky, even if there's 2 of you. So quick tip for you. What we did, we got our bottom bracket right here aligned exactly where we wanted it. We referenced the height of this railing with the height of the one over on the left with our laser. And then we went up top and we used this board to help us out. This board fits on the tread and tucks up under the handrail like that. So then all we had to do, once we got this bracket installed on the handrail, we just brought this all the way to the top of the stairs, put it on the top tread. It held the handrail in place for us while we got the top bracket installed. Then we used the laser, lined up the bottom hole of this bracket with the bottom hole of the top bracket, and then put in all the intermediary brackets. That thing's really strong. We have our return code required right here, top and bottom. That's so you don't get snagged on the handrail when you're coming up or down the stairs. And guys, we are super excited. We got this project all done. It's a lot of work. Summer loves it, and it transformed the area of this house just like we want it to. Made it really bright right here, and even the stairway itself is a lot brighter. So we had a blast making this video. We hope you did too. Big shout out to Florette for providing all the nosing. Stair treads can be a real challenge with LVP, but they make it really easy. And you've all seen how well this mitered corner came out. Florette has an awesome deal going on right now for Stud Pack viewers. You can get a sample pack of all their different colors for 50% off. There's a link below. So update your like button by putting in some railings around it with a 1/2-inch square mortise chisel. Smash it for us. If you're not a subscriber to our channel, we really appreciate that. Half our viewers aren't even subscribers. We'd be over 1 million if all you guys hit that subscribe button. So we really appreciate all the love and support. Don't forget, if you're looking for more Stud Pack, you can find us on Instagram at Stud Pack Official, and we have a second YouTube channel called Stud Pack 2. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you right back here on our very next Stud Pack video.